Welcome to another Friday live edition with the staff and crew here. Well, not the whole staff and crew, just the guys that are with me more on a consistent basis. Maybe one day we can get everybody in the studio at one time and just do that'd be fun actually. That'd be fun to maybe do like a Christmas party or something and just go live. Would that be fun or no?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah?
I think it'd be good.
Okay. What do you think?
It'd be great.
Manager Derek?
Jack would probably lose his mind.
See, all correct answers here. This is what I like. I like when I come up with an idea, the answer is always yes.
We were trying to plan one this year. It just didn't work out. So.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Oh. Did you tell me that?
Yeah.
You did?
Yes, we did.
Oh, okay. Very low.
But now it's your idea, so it's going to happen.
It is my low on the priority list, I suppose. So everybody, I'm glad that you're here on this live YouTube. We have Derek here, Manager Derek. Derek, how you doing, buddy?
Good, man. Good to be here.
Good. And Jack?
Producer behind the mic, behind the keys. Here you go.
Yeah, there you go. So listen, what does everybody think about it? All right, so we're on YouTube right now. So the YouTube audience doesn't get the same production as the audio audience. But some of the people in the chat might have listened to the last 2 weeks on podcast platforms other than YouTube. So like YouTube's video, and then we have Apple and Spotify. And Apple and Spotify, they are a completely different production. I mean, you have a show intro music, you have, welcome to the show. It's like warming you up into the experience, right? YouTube is much more like, hey, let's just get to the point and just skip. I don't even want to know your name is. Just start talking, right? And so we try to jump right into it with YouTube. It's just different production. But on the audio side, the last 2 weeks, or was it 3 weeks, Jack, that you've done the intros?
Two, yeah.
Yeah, so like the last 2 weeks, Jack's done the intros, and I think he's done a good job. And so people in the chat, if you've heard it, correct answers only. So give me a thumbs up that you enjoyed the Jack doing show intros. I think he has a future in podcasting doing intros. You ready for that?
Praise Jesus.
Yeah. He's like, I'm discovering new talents, job security. So I think we got some thumbs up here in the chat. So look at that, Jack. People like you. People like you.
I'm going to make sure these all get shown. Thank you for the thumbs up. You're on screen. You get on screen.
Well, that's actually good. That's good. Yeah. Get the interaction going. Do we still have the discount going?
It ended.
Oh, okay.
It ended Tuesday.
Gotcha. Okay. So you're wearing the new Rake t-shirt, Derek.
That's right. The new Rake. It's inspired actually Psalms 91.
Yeah. So it says, "Do not be afraid of the terrors of the night." And on the bottom, why don't you stand up and show the people?
I'll stand up. Here we go.
The confessionals, Psalm 91. And so it's a very metal t-shirt. I mean, I would say that it's, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be for everybody. What do you think, Jack? I know you love it.
I don't think it's for everybody, but I love it. I mean, if you like metal, if you like things that look like they go hard or whatever, I mean, that shirt goes hard, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely a metal. It looks like you would wear it at a rock concert or something, if one would venture into such a territory.
Yeah,
and it has a redemptive angle.
There you go. That was the whole thing. So I mean, the initial draft of that didn't have any redemptive angle, and I was like, well, I don't like that a whole lot. And then I think it was you, Derek, that came up with Psalm 91, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So. Kudos. I think it's a good t-shirt. So if you guys are interested in checking out the Rake t-shirt, you can check it out at merkmerch.com. We have other gear there. I'm wearing our biggest seller right now at Forever is Always on the Hunt. This design people love. I'm wearing the hoodie of it. And what's better than a Bigfoot with an AR? I don't think there's much that, can top that.
And it's really cozy.
It is very soft and cozy. This is my office hoodie. Like I just keep it in the office and I wear it, when I want to snuggle up at the production table and settle in for like 10 hours of work, keeps me nice and warm.
You flip the hood up nice too.
Yeah. Like it's a big old hood You know, the only hood I'm from is the one I'm wearing, you know? So
It's like your do not disturb sign.
is that how you feel?
That's how I feel. When the hood's up, I don't bother you.
Oh, well, that's good. I mean, you know what's funny is that there are times I hear you walk by the door and I hear like a stop and I'm in a zone. And if you don't walk away, I'm like, hey, what's up? But if you walk away, I'm like, good. It's like perfect.
Totally fair.
Perfect. He's not bothering me. So Jack, I want to talk to you about your dream that you had here. I'll set the scene because I think it's safe to say I probably wake up before both you guys most mornings.
Probably.
Like, were you up at 4:45 this morning?
You just always text really early in the morning.
It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell sometimes whether you are awake because you woke up or because you just haven't gone to bed yet.
Well, I mean, usually the adrenaline brain dumps are about the same morning and night. You know, I noticed that I don't know what it is, but like my brain starts working like an overdrive at nighttime. And, you know, so like this morning I woke up at 4:45. I couldn't sleep anymore. And I roll out of bed and I tried to wake up nice and quiet and just like sneak out of the bedroom. I woke up Lindsay. She was awake with me. And I was like, dang it. You know, I felt bad. But not last night, but the night before, you and I, Derek, get a text message at 3:03 in the morning. And let me see if I can cue it up here because it was rare. It's a rarity to see that Jack is awake at such hours.
That's very true.
He hasn't slept yet. Usually is when he's messaging at that time.
Yeah, it's like that's
He's finishing a show.
yeah. I mean, I can't find it here, but I mean that's usually it's like, oh man, I guess Jack's not coming in today. like oh shoot. Okay, well let me start making preparations for the day to not have producer Jack in house.
I'll bring him coffee because
Yeah.
he's waking up on the green room couch. Yeah.
So he texts us at 3:03 in the morning, and he said, "I just had my first ever lucid dream," and I think that was about it. And I was like, "Oh man, okay." So you know, first thing I know, you probably thought the same thing. 3:03, it's 3 a.m. He had a lucid dream, and then we come in here, and Jack's late. But you know, excuses. But he had a good one this time. You know, you're waking up at 3:03, and he didn't go back to sleep. He had the presence of mind to make notes of what he dreamt, and that was a big deal. So
Smart.
I'm glad you did because I feel like we're going to be having more of these kind of conversations with you. And I'll say this: I think it's best to let people know the background also with the previous place because you had just moved. And the previous place, you had an out-of-body experience twice, and I think it was what 2 nights in a row.
I think it was one night. Then it was like a night in between, and then the next night after that. So it was like 3 days, but 2 nights.
Okay.
So
I'll just briefly go over those, and then we can go into your experience the other night. But I was sitting in here, and it's before you started working here, Derek. Jack came in. He's like, I don't know how to explain this. Were you confused by it at first? Did you understand what was happening?
Oh, I was definitely like, at first I was confused because I hadn't had the feeling before. I mean, I can just share it
Yeah, you
real
just
quick.
tell the story.
So the first time, like you'd mentioned this, I think once or twice on the show before, but I had a, what's it called? Sleep paralysis, out of body experience, where it was just a very simple dream. The first night I was laying on the couch and that's where I was sleeping. So like I could see my body, like I was standing next to my body. And then I started to slowly walk towards, or like I saw the door and I started to slowly walk towards the door in the sleep paralysis dream. And then I turned around and I was a very short distance from my body. Once I saw my body, I snapped back immediately.
Yeah.
And that was the first night. Then the second night, I ventured further. I got closer to the door, and as soon as I got about like maybe a foot away from the door, I looked back at my body, and this time I snapped back, but I couldn't move. So like I couldn't lift my arms up. Like I knew in the midst of like seeing my body, I couldn't actually perform an action. Like I couldn't lift my arm, couldn't move my head, but I knew that I was in a dream, and then it finally like turned around and snapped back into my body.
So
that
you
was-
think you were in a dream?
It felt like it was a dream. Like it felt like because I could see it in my head, but I couldn't actually like move. And then it felt like I opened my eyes both times.
Interesting. I mean, I feel like what you had, it was an out of body experience, and I don't think it was a dream at all.
Yeah. What I mean, I don't know.
I experienced it more than you did, trust me. But so, I mean, that's a little bit of background just because Jack has a history of pretty much being a meh kind of guy with this stuff. And he's been like, you know, what's funny? I had a proud moment yesterday because I forget what we were talking about, but Jack said normie Christians. And I was like, and I even said to you, I called you. That's what you texted me something about that. And I said, and I called you, and the first thing he goes, hello. And I said, you too were once a normie Christian. I was so proud of him.
So true.
I was so proud of him. I was like, shoot, man. Okay. But I mean, you work here long enough. I mean, if you're, you know, like I don't know if this is real stuff, kind of stuff. I mean, you can only work here so long before you say, okay, listen, 1 + 1 = 2, you know, and that's just the way it works. So, he came here working here and he didn't really have much to say about anything. He was just like, I don't know, Bigfoot, whatever, you know? And I'm like, no, you have to understand it's a spiritual entity. And he's like, but it's physical and has hair. I'm like, yeah, it can be both. It's both. And he's like, you're so weird. And I was like, I know. But now he's kind of getting on the crazy train with me. And now he's had his first lucid dream. And I don't think I've ever had a lucid dream. I've had dreams that seemed very real, but I think I wouldn't describe it the way like my wife describes her lucid dreams, which is, and like a lot of people do, which is like it was real. Like it felt more real than this does. So Jack, why don't you tell us about the other night? What happened to you?
Okay, so just a short backstory. I just moved into this new house, and it's it's like I have all my stuff that I'm trying to unpack, and you know, the process. It feels like things are empty because nothing is really there yet. So in the dream, and this dream had 3 parts, which is different from what most of my dreams are. Usually, I just have a dream and wake up, and then roll over and have a different dream or don't dream at all. But the first part wasn't lucid. The first part, up until the very last second, was just your typical dream. You're seeing things and experiencing things as though, you know, it's what's happening in your mind, but I'm not actually making any decisions. So I woke up in the dream, laying on my bed, but I'm in a different house, in a different room, and the environment is empty, just like it feels until everything is unpacked and set up. And my light is on in my bedroom, which I never sleep with my light on. And
Because he's not afraid of the dark. Because he's not afraid of the dark.
It's not real.
Ladies,
I
he's
don't
not afraid
fear
of the dark.
in fact, as much as you can make it dark, I appreciate the darkness.
Because
Anyway.
he's tough. He's tough. He's
Yeah.
a man.
Wait, say that again. You weren't on camera.
He's tough. He's tough. He's a man.
He's a man.
That's right. I'm a man. So I looked around, and on the floor was this boombox, this like old boombox that was in the basement of our church that Tony and I went to when we were younger in Pennsylvania. And playing on the boombox was this like indistinguishable 80s soundtrack or something like that. But the vibe that I got was that the power had just gone out and that it flickered and came back on. Because when I looked outside, I looked out the windows as I realized that in the dream, and it was extremely windy outside. I could see these pine trees that were outside the window, and all of the branches were rustling. They were moving pretty heavily. So I looked around, and then I looked out the door, and the way that my bed was situated is different than how it is in real life. I was actually able to look directly out my bedroom door, and I saw into the big open void that was the living area, or at least I think it was, and it was dark. So it was like the lights were off out there, but they were on in my bedroom. And when I looked out there, it was just a sense of uneasy, like, you know, void. You know, you just kind of had that dark void that kind of freaks you out a little bit. Then immediately I'm transported into what is the first time I've ever experienced a lucid dream, because I was transported to a very general college setting and I was outside walking down steps towards a friend that I hadn't seen in probably 8 or 9 years from college. And behind that friend were two other people who are my friends from college as well. And I was making the decision to talk to them and, give them a hug and see how they were and all of this stuff. And I was actively participating in this because I remember, like, just having general conversation. And then we started walking. We walked into a general purpose room, which has like a pool table and all this other stuff that we would hang out and play games and stuff like that in college. And the next thing I remember is going up on stage, playing guitar and singing a song because I saw these two girls, one that I had that I liked in college, and I played the song, sang, walked down, and then I asked this girl out, and she said yes. And then I walked over to the counter where there were people who I don't even know. They were like AI generated faces in your mind. Like you just have those people in your dreams. They were NPCs, and I don't know who they were. But I asked them, did I mess up? And then after that, I was transported back into the same room that I started the dream in. All of this stuff I'm making the decisions on. So now, like, I'm in the room, but I'm actually like mentally, like I can. It's so weird. Like you talk about lucid dreams, and you know that you can make decisions in those dreams, but like it's hard to explain. Like you're in the same setting, but now I'm actively making the decision to look around, to look down outside the windows. The boom box is no longer there, but the whole setting is different. Like the lights are off in this scenario in my room. Lights are still off in the living area when I look out the door. And this time there's no wind, but when I look out the door into the void, the living area, it's darker, and I got a sense of fear. Like I actually got scared. And in the dream, I started to think I need to just start praying because I was scared. And as soon as that happened, I realized that I was in a dream state, and sleep paralysis happened again, where I couldn't move and I couldn't do anything to get out of this. As soon as that fear hit, it was like, okay, I need to wake up. So in the dream, I'm telling myself to slap myself in the face to wake me up. So I started slapping myself in the face in the dream, and nothing happened. So then I started to pinch my leg, and nothing happened. And like in sleep paralysis, it feels like you're almost in a web, like a cocoon web, where like you can't lift your arm, you can't, move your leg, twist your head, anything. And so though I'm in the dream pinching my leg and slapping myself in the face, I still couldn't move. So I forget what the last thing was that I did to try and wake myself up, but I was yelling, I was screaming. Like I was screaming in the dream to wake myself up, and I could tell that in my physical body, I actually made a noise because I could hear, like you can hear simultaneously what was going on. And I could hear that in the physical, I actually like squeaked something out. Maybe I did scream, but I don't know. And so that kind of like snapped the illusion in a way. And I finally started to come to. It was like a slow release of the sleep paralysis. And then I finally woke up and opened my eyes. And that was when, as soon as I opened my eyes, I like grabbed my phone, looked at the time, saw it was 3:03, texted you guys immediately, and was like, just had the first lucid dream I've ever had. And then I rolled over because I was like, I should probably pray. And then I just was like, all right, I'm going to go back to bed. And then I figured I should probably write this down so I can remember it fully.
And I'm going to be late in the morning.
That's
and
what I was going to
my
say.
My boss is going to have to deal with it. So, I mean, one of the things that I don't have any proof of, and I wouldn't want to say that it's a fact or anything like that, but I have a thought, and I wonder, because time moves differently. So wouldn't it be something, because I mean, how long did it feel like you were in that dream, like that lucid dream? How long did it feel like it was taking you?
It felt like over the course of a day or two, because I woke up in the dream in my bed at night. Then I was in another area during broad daylight, and it felt, because everything in that second part of the dream was well lit, so it wasn't as though anything was dim or dark like when I looked out the door in the first part of the dream, or even in the second part or third part where it was all dark. So it did feel like it stretched across either a day or multiple days.
It makes me wonder if that dream started at 3 a.m. and it was only a 3-minute dream in this, but it was much longer there. I found it interesting though that text came in at 3:03. Do you have any thoughts on that, Chaplain Derek?
At 3:03.
I call you the chaplain of the office.
I know.
Do you hate it?
No, it's weirdly enough. I felt like I don't know. I used to have a license to minister and stuff, so it doesn't bother me.
Okay, good.
I always ran from it.
I'm not going to stop.
Especially if it annoys you, I'm going to keep going.
Absolutely. We got to test our relationship.
I feel like there's definitely like a spirit of fear that's integrated in like all of it, you know, because you said you like felt the darkness like at the end of your lucid dream. So I almost wonder if the entity's actually in control of it, even though he thinks he has freedom, if like it's like an illusion, you know?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like what I think, because in the end, he is always questioning himself. He's always working out of fear, you know, always worried about things. And I think the enemy was just trying to like get him to stir that aspect of himself.
I mean, yeah, I think if we're going to analyze Jack live on air, I do think that, you know, you're going through a transition in life where you're taking some steps in a very positive direction. And, but like and I can't say I'm a stranger to this, where when I take my steps in a positive direction, there's usually risk involved, you know? I mean, that's kind of where I'm at with a lot of things now, where it's like, now I'm kind of actually trying to rewire myself so that it's like, okay, analyze all the options and see which one will hurt the less, you know? Because it seems like everything I do, it's like it stretches you. It stretches you. And Jack's kind of like in a season where he's making a lot of big moves for himself personally, and I think that's stretching him. And there's anxiety that comes with that, you know? Like I can attest to that. Like, I mean, dude, like when I moved to Tennessee, I was anxious, and there was a period where I signed the paperwork. The house I was living in with my family was no longer mine. My wife and kids were at the Philadelphia airport sleeping in a Marriott for the night, and I had all my possessions in 2 moving trucks in Pottstown, PA, and I was technically homeless because I had to drive all my stuff overnight to Tennessee, pick up my family at the airport at noon the next day, and hopefully everything goes well with closing on the house. Like, I was like, well, I guess I'm homeless for the night, and this is all I have, you know?
That's crazy.
And, you know, but like, there's that level of anxiety when you're taking big steps in life. And I do feel like we're not going to analyze everything, but I do feel like that last part where you said, did I make a mistake? I think that did I make a mistake was open-ended to a lot of things that were going on in that dream, and the dream and your real life. And the way you entered into that lucid dream and the way you left that lucid dream was both times was coded in a sense of darkness and fear to a certain extent. And so you being ushered into that lucid dream under those pretexts, I wonder a lot. I wonder if one, I think it's easy to say that this was a lucid dream, quote unquote, attack, that Jack was brought into a lucid dream to discourage him, to build him up in the dream, and then tear him down by his own doing. Did I mess up? You know? And they say yes, you know, because you're fighting that anxiety. But I also wonder if the lucid dream, I have no scripture to back this up, Chaplain. I wonder if the lucid dream was going to happen either way, and something intercepted to put its own little touch on it. You know, like what if the dream was supposed to have a whole different vibe to it, but something, whatever the dark feeling you had going into it, the shifting from your bedroom, because I think you said in your bedroom when you first, the wind was blowing and you looked out in the hallway and it was like this dark shiver that you had, right?
Yeah. But I mean, like, the room was well lit. Like, the only thing that was in the room was the light, which I don't even know where it was coming from.
But going into the lucid dream, how did you feel?
I mean, it was fine until I looked out the door, which was the last thing I did, was looking out the bedroom door into the
And then
into the hallway.
then you got ushered into the lucid dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what if there is? So we talk about the soul snatching, and all this astral realm stuff that traditionally we're like, oh, that's impossible, but we're like, oh, maybe it's not that impossible. What if there was an interception of your dream, and though it couldn't stop the dream itself that was being maybe brought on, who knows, maybe by God, it still wanted to sneak in and touch it and just put its own little flavor of it. Because like I've said this before inwardly to the circle. I don't know if I've ever said this publicly, but I 100% view Jack as the gateway to the inner circle. Like there's an inner circle that we have, and it seems like Jack is the one that is the first recipient of attacks, whether it's through human means, spiritual means, and we're making a lot of behind the scenes moves right now, and it's like almost like there's no new trick in the playbook, and let's get Jack worked up and anxiety ridden, because Jack is the portal to the inner circle. If we can get him misstepping, it just flows downhill from there. And it's that's honestly like how I view your role in a lot of this stuff, like because you're the last say on what goes out. You're constantly producing everything. Because you're my brother, people come to you with questions, especially when I'm not answering my phone, which is all the time. And so like you are this gatekeeper almost to everybody that is in that circle that we have. And I just feel like it's just par for the course. You're the one that gets attacked first. So honestly, when I was driving home last night, because we had a great time yesterday with Katie Souza. Maybe we'll talk about that before we go in the next section here. But when I was driving home last night, I was thinking about that, and I prayed because I was like, I'm wondering if I should expect another wave of spiritual attacks. You know, because like we had that wave not too long ago, shortly after you started. I think it was right when Lindsay got diagnosed with cancer, and then everything just was falling apart. Everything was going crazy. It wasn't just Lindsay; it was like everything. And I feel like things have kind of simmered down since probably the beginning of October. Things have been kind of like, you know, and
they were just focused at me, I think.
Yeah, that's true, because everything kind of kicked into high gear for you.
Dude, everything. Every appliance, my septic.
Your truck today.
How about my kid digging up a poop in the backyard?
Do you want to tell that story?
And cutting the internet.
I don't know if your kid would appreciate that, but if you feel comfortable, it's a wild story, folks. It's a wild story.
We'll save it for another time. But there was just so much.
You don't need a name drop.
I don't need to name drop.
Don't say it, because they'll be embarrassed.
But just the craziest. I mean, yeah, I've been under a lot of spiritual attack, and it's a lot of little things. You know that like normally you expect things to go well and things to like be smooth. Like nothing has been smooth the last couple months for me. So. All my appliances are weirdly broken, and my septic was backing up, and it was just a lot of craziness all around. But it's shifting heads. I mean, working here, it's definitely, you have to be aware of the spiritual attack, because we are definitely like guardians of the frontier with you, man. Like, you know, you're leading the march, and we're all right there with you. And that's why we get prayed up. We anointed, and we just get down into the dirty business of praying and being in the right position with God. So,
yeah, I'm not even sure if people know what Guardian of the Frontier even means yet. I don't know if I've even talked about that publicly, but have I?
I think you may have, but
Okay.
I mean, if you want to wait and hold on to that,
Yeah, we'll hold
keep
on
it in
to
the
it.
pocket.
Well, I mean, yeah, hold it, keep it in the pocket. Like I'm really good at that. But no, I think just for time's sake, we'll move past that one. But yeah, I mean, when you start pulling the curtain back on darkness, you know, it will look back and it will reach out to try scratching. You know, that's just the way it is. And so, and we don't operate in fear, because we know this is the calling. You know, like, and the Lord's going to equip those who are called. So we're good, and like in fact, like we're beyond good. You know, like to see how God has really just maneuvered and positioned this whole thing and brought the right people around us, me, at the right time, starting 2 years ago. I think it's been like 2 years since I first met Alan DiDio, and that ushered in all these influential pastors into my life. And I say influential, maybe not to the world as much as to me. Like, I think it's even more so influential for me than it is for the world that they're here in my own personal life. And so, like, it's just, the Lord is just constantly proves that he's in control and it's going to be okay. And yesterday was one of those times. I mean, yesterday we had a guest here in studio, Katie Souza, and I'll tell you, it was wild. I mean, like, Jack, I don't know if this was on the recording or not. I know I sat down at a table, and it was shortly after I sat down at a table, I told her, I said, let's break the internet. Was that on the recording? Do you remember?
Oh man, I don't know.
Okay. But like, because Katie Souza is a beast, you know, and I knew what I was getting into when when she was sitting at the table. I was like, this is going to be wild. And it was nuts. I think we probably did about 3 hours yesterday.
Wow.
But this interview was supposed to happen in February of this year. Jack, what was the reason why they couldn't come?
They had flooding in their office.
They had flooding in their office. And so we had this whole thing scheduled and it didn't happen. But guess what didn't happen in February as well? Lindsay didn't know she had cancer in February, right?
Yep.
And so I'm always saying this, God's timing, God's timing, God's timing. And so I was frustrated in February. I was like, dang it, that's the one I wanted. I hope they come. I hope they come. They said they're going to come. I hope they come, because I was like, I really want this interview. And it's God's timing, because yesterday she comes and we sit down and we start exploring the first half of the show. I don't want to say the first half, probably the first quarter of the show, first third of the show is us exploring her life up to prison. Like, she was a bad person. Like, I mean, like, bad to the bone, like tough. I mean,
Yeah, you said it yesterday. You were like, "Have you ever seen Sons of Anarchy?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "That's a great correlation." She like fits the vibe of that.
yeah. So like, Sons of Anarchy. Have you ever seen it? So the mom Gemma, like, that's,
Wow.
I mean, like, to a T. She is like, I called her during the recording. I said, I don't mean any offense to this, but you are a spiritual thug. Like,
I love that.
Like, or maybe gangster. I don't remember what I said, but I was like, like, and she's like, she said something about, like, you know, she's not trying to glorify her past. I said, no, I told her, I was like, no, absolutely. Like, but it's important for you to paint this picture, because it actually adds defining as to why and how you run your ministry. Like you are like, God took the bad in you and said, oh no, we're not going to get rid of that. We're going to use that. We're going to use that.
Fearlessness, yeah.
She is tough, and she's just like, boom, 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 I don't care. And for me, I'm like ODing over here. I'm just like, just keep it coming. I have an IV in my arm, just like, yes. You know, like, I'm a junkie for a good story, and she packs punches, man. And so while we're here talking, she's getting to a point where she's in prison and the angel comes. And that was, like, I think her first supernatural experience. So she's like, has this angel, her guardian angel, come into her prison cell. And I knew that was a point in the conversation where I was going to start shifting it into the supernatural. You know, let's talk about the things you've seen and do and all that, right? The good, the bad, the ugly. And I was looking at the time, and yesterday they had to come in later in the day. So my son had to go to practice. My daughter had to go to practice. So Lindsay was taking Gemma, and Jack was going to take Ben to practice. So while we're recording, Jack was going to leave and go to practice. And so he's still here. I'm looking at the time. I'm like, Lindsay's got to be here. He's still here. And so I told her, I was like, hey, and I think I said on the recording to Jack, I said, is Lindsay here? And he just kind of nodded his head. And I said, all right, let's stop. This is a good spot to stop the conversation. And we went and pulled Lindsay into the studio and prayed for her with Katie. And so, like, people will hear that on the show when we release it and stuff. You'll hear that transition. But the prayer session that Lindsay had with Katie, I can say was divine. Divine. Things were accomplished. And I think we're still gathering intel. There's a lot of things going on in the spiritual.
Oh, yeah.
But it was highly successful in ways that I didn't expect. And Lindsay had, after the prayer, a supernatural peace about her. She had to run out the door and take Gemma to practice. I hadn't talked to her then until I was on my way home, and I called her, and the cadence in her voice was just a piece that I hadn't heard in a long time. And so praise God for that.
It's amazing.
But there's other wild things that transpired from yesterday's meeting with Katie that we will release at other times when the time is appropriate. But
I think it's really cool just how like everything's been positioned though. Like he has his bad dream, right?
Yeah.
At 3:00, which is like, you know, the bewitching hour of the attack. And then like this whole day is already set up and ordained by God.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, we're just doing the right positions to like pray and guard ourselves and be ready. And God's doing awesome stuff, man.
Absolutely. And you said that and reminded me that yesterday morning, so I had a dream as well. So Jack has his dream. He texts us at 3:03 in the morning, and I didn't know. I didn't get my text at 3:03 in the morning, you know? But I had a dream, and I think it was like around 5:00, Lindsay shakes me awake because I'm yelling in my sleep.
Wow.
And so I'm waking my wife up early. Like she's not going to be able to go back. She's a light sleeper. She's not like, so 5:00 she's up, and I'm like, she is not going to be happy, you know? And then at like 5:45, I'm just laying there trying to like be still as possible. Like, please don't kill me. Yeah. and 5:45, she gets out of bed. I'm like, oh, she's going to go to the bathroom. And then she goes to walk out of the bedroom. I'm like, oh, where are you going? She's like, I can't sleep. I'm like, oh crap. She's going to kill me. You know,
because you woke her up.
Yeah, because she's got a lot physically that's going on. She needs her sleep.
Even a normal wife doesn't want to be woken up. So
yeah, thank you.
You're good.
So I get up because I was already awake. I was just trying to be as still as possible to hush little baby, don't say a word, you know, like, and so I get up with her. She gets a coffee together. She sits down on the couch, and it's probably like 5:45 now. And she covers up with a cover with her coffee. And I sit down next to her and we start talking. And she had this divinely supernatural peace about her in the morning. And I was like, this isn't normal. Because I said, are you all right? And she's like, oh yeah, I'm fine. She's like, I'm going to pay for this later. I'm going to be really tired later, but I'm fine right now. I'm like, what'd you do with my wife? You know, I was just totally expecting her to be irritated with me for waking her up. You know, it's not my fault that I had a dream, but still, I mean, she's tired. And, you know, the previous 3 nights, the kids were waking us up. And so it's just, she's not getting good sleep right now because of me and the kids. And then the whole thing transpires yesterday. And it was just like, yesterday, I feel like was a divine day from the beginning to end. I think God was setting things up perfectly for things that we haven't even shared yet. And like there was a level of attack that came in the dream state for Jack, maybe to curve what happened yesterday. Because honestly, let's just be honest, typically speaking, if Jack is showing up late on a recording day, who's irritated? This guy.
That's true.
And then who gets thrown off his game? This guy. Like, it's happened many times. Can you back me up on this?
Can confirm.
like short fused on certain things. And so like old tactics, you know, new day. I feel like that, right? And so even with my dream, I had this dream, and I don't really have a lot of like detailed dreams that I continually remember. But the ones that I do are often something to be considered, right? they're darker in nature, and I don't know why. Those are the ones I remember. The earliest one I remember in my entire life was I had. I think it was a recurring dream. I was having dreams where these symbols were popping up all over my body like tattoos. I was a kid. And looking back on it now, I recognize it more like occultic symbolism, but I didn't know at that time. And I remember I was riding the back seat of my parents' car, and I was just telling them I was like, I'm having bad dreams, and I told them what it was. And God bless my parents. This is like 91, 90. And so like they're not. First of all, they're not on the same page as me now. They're certainly they're certainly further along than they were back then. So when I tell them that I have these like satanic symbols popping up on my body, they just literally looked at each other while they're driving down the road and then looked back.
Good luck, Tony. You're on your own.
They're like, well, hopefully that doesn't happen anymore, son. Like or something like that. And so, but it's always been on repeat, the darker stuff. And then this dream the other night, it was a dystopian society. And there's different, there's 3 segments to this dream. The first segment was me, and my wife and kids were not in this dream. They weren't even a thought in this dream. They were not part of the equation whatsoever. And that's not me saying, oh, they must have died. It's me saying they were not like even in my life, Like it was like, this is something completely different. And as you go through the dream, you're like, oh yeah, that's totally not your life. I'm walking into the woods with a civilization of people, but there's not a lot of them. I think we were just out doing something. We were coming back, and it wasn't a lot of us. And we were walking back into the woods where our encampment was, or whatever, And I remember there was like this bear that popped up and was not like aggressively running at us, but it was like, oh, bear hungry, time to go, And so I told him, I said, just keep going to the camp. I'll go this way and I'll try to pull it away. And so I'm like, hey bear, come on bear. And it starts following me. And I remember walking to the edge of the forest out into an opening, and I'm now in the opening, and the bear's almost to the opening, coming in through the trees. And then all of a sudden it flashes, and I'm no longer in the woods. I'm no longer there. I'm now in city. So I went from wilderness to in the city, and I'm standing on a street corner. And I know the street corner because I've been on it many times. It's in Philadelphia, and I want to say it's Passyunk Avenue, but I can't remember the one road. I want to say it's like 29. It's not 29 South Street. It's I forget what road it is, but I remember I used to go underneath the overpass when I was driving truck because there's a tasty cake factory right there, and I would back in and say, "Yeah, you guys got a pickup for me?" And they're like, "No, we never called." I'm like, "Oh, can I have some tasty cakes while I'm here?" I would pretend I had worked there, and then like, "Oh, I must have been mistaken." I'd take food.
Oh,
So that's me. But so I'm on that street corner though that I would go across the street under the overpass, and then maybe like a half mile is the tasty cake factory. But the scenery, other than that street corner, is different, and there. I'm standing there, and behind me, down the road a little bit, is like the hood. I mean, it's just ghetto. In real life, it's not. It's highway heading into, I think it's like South Philly-ish. So it's like this like rundown neighborhood behind me, and there's this guy that comes up to me, this like real skinny black guy. Wearing like a navy blue shirt, blue jeans, and real friendly. And, he's talking to me like, hey, man, and just talk, exchange pleasantries. And I don't know what I said. I know we had a conversation. And then it shifts again. So I go from the wilderness to the inner city, and this is dystopian. Everything's dystopian. Like the reason why we're in the wilderness is because society has fallen out. The city is the place where the lower level people you don't want to be, but this is where you're stuck. And then there's like the elites, like think Hunger Games, right? That's the environment that it was. And then it shifts again, and I'm sitting in an old dark office, and I'm sitting at a table, and just like this, and the room is dimly lit with the yellow lighting, and it has old brown wall paneling all the way around, and I'm sitting there, and there's a man sitting across the table from me, and it's Donald Trump. And that's how I know this was not real. Like, this was not a real dream. My family wasn't there, but he's sitting there, and I'm talking to him about that street corner that I was just from, and the neighborhood there. And oh, that's what it was. The guy who was telling me, he's like, "Hey, this is a really bad area." Like, he was a good dude, but he's like, "This is a really bad area. You don't want to be here. Like, there's nobody good here." And so I'm sitting there, and I'm talking to Trump, and it's just weird saying that. I was talking to Trump. I was sitting there, and I was telling him, I was like, that entire neighborhood, it's no good. Like there's nothing good there. And because that's what I was told. And he just goes, and he turns around in his chair to a desk that's behind him. And on the wall behind him was papers all pinned up, and almost like what you would see in a movie where somebody is doing a crime scene investigation. It was kind of like that. And he turns around, and he starts doing something on paperwork on his desk. And as I'm sitting there, somebody came from behind me and walked around the chair to the other side of the table where Trump was sitting, and they're wearing a blue suit. And it's JD Vance. And the whole time I'm like not weirded out. I'm not like, oh my gosh, it's the president. I'm just like, hey dude, this is what's going on down there, you know? And JD Vance stands with his back towards me. Trump's already has his back towards me, sitting in his chair doing something paperwork, and he stands right next to Trump, and he takes his coat off, but also a vest that you would have a gun on, you know, like back in the 80s, it was real popular to have a gun vest. It was that, but a coat, and he takes it off like this. And when he does that, his face changes, or he does that. He sits down in a chair and he turns around and his face is completely changed. And I'm just telling you what I dreamed, okay? I'm not, this is...
Let the conspiracy theories speak.
I know. This is just what I dreamed. He sits down. And when he's standing there and he does that, and he takes his coat off like that, Trump looks up at him, and it was like this face of like just a dead stare, like, oh, okay, we're doing this. And he sits down in the chair and he turns around, and his face is half man and half like deformed lizard man. And in the dream, I was like, like I'm now I'm like, literally that stuttering I just did, I was like, and in the bedroom, Lindsay hears me doing that. And so she's not wanting me to yell, but she touches me to shake me awake. Well, that was the wrong thing to do in that moment. I was like, because I mean, at that point, I guess JD or somebody lunged at me because I felt something grab me. I was like, ah! And I wake up, and
it's Lindsay.
And Lindsay's like, Tony, shut up! I'm like, So that was my dream. Interpret, guys.
You know what's interesting? We both had 3-part dreams.
That is interesting.
And yours ended in a darker scenario. Mine was also darker. I don't know. There's no real, I have no like correlation between what was actually occurring in the dreams, but they did have that similar structure.
Yeah. Interesting. That is interesting. Jack, can you abandon your post real quick, run down the hallway and turn the AC on like as low as it goes? Because I feel like it's just blowing warm air right now and I am getting hot. And I don't want to take off my merch.
Your merch.
I don't want to take off my merch. So if you could just do that, that'd be swell, fella. So, but yeah, I mean, so I that dream was bonkers, but I felt like even that dream was to set up a bad day. You know, whether it's exhaustion or get you thinking about things. What does that mean? And you're not really zoned in because yesterday's recording was just off the chain, wildly good. And dare I say that JD's face looked like a zombie.
Oh.
Transition.
Wow. Let's go.
But
Not a great transition.
that's a great transition.
No.
Wasn't that a great transition?
No, I mean-
Give me a thumbs up in the chat if that was a great transition to the next topic of the day. Well, I mean, hey, listen, you weren't in the dream. I was.
That's
Looking
fair.
back
That's
on
fair.
he was a zombie. He looked like a zombie.
You could have gotten like zombie apocalypse vibe and then switched to zombies.
Oh yeah.
See, that would have been good.
That would have been good.
Yeah.
Where were those show notes, man? Where were those show notes? Oh man. But yeah, before we get into the next topic at hand, I want to tell you that this live broadcast is brought to you by Uncommon Goods. Jack, are you familiar with Uncommon Goods?
I'm very familiar with Uncommon
Do
Goods.
you use Uncommon Goods?
I have before they were a sponsor. Crazy enough.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's when you know it's good if Jack's using it because he's like the guy that he I don't know, you're always on the quirky sites that are helpful and beneficial for like living. Like you beat me to like the Stitch Fix, which I canceled because I was like, I don't like this stuff. It's like it's called style, Tony. You don't have any. You know? But like
black shirt and blue jeans.
Right. But Uncommon Goods is a great sponsor for the show, and they always come around this time of year. And why don't you pull up Uncommon Goods on your computer, Derek? I want to do an exercise with you.
Okay, let's do this.
So if you go to uncommongoods.com/Tony, it's the holiday season, and Uncommon Goods is known for having just like fire gifts that are all within a budget range of what you want. You can set your budget to $150 or $50. It doesn't matter. You can do holidays, birthdays, anniversaries, just for the wife, just for the husband, all that stuff. It's like, it's awesomely easy to shop. And for somebody like me, I'm brain dead. Like I'm straight up brain dead when it comes to this stuff. Okay, like
he's not ad-libbing either. This is a legit comment he makes all the time.
I like Ben's birthday, December. Lindsay's birthday, December. Christmas, December. New Year's is right around the corner. Like I can't handle it all. And so I need to use places like Uncommon Goods to take the work out for me. Yeah. And so what I'll do is I'll go on Uncommon Goods and like say I'm looking for my kids. I'll go for the kids category and then I'll scroll through there and then they give you the age bracket. So let's just say for my son Ben, between ages 8 and 12. And then I can do the budget. Like, let me do, man, I wish I could do like a $5 budget.
He's a tween on here.
He's a tween.
Well, that's crazy.
I don't like it. I don't like it. But, and then you could just shop through the ages and everything. It just kind of, it gives you really unique ideas to have for somebody that you love. And a lot of this stuff is made in America. A lot of it's handmade. It's by like small business owners, you know, so you're not like feeding a giant corporation or you're not like buying some Chinese thing. It is made in America type stuff. So who do you want to shop for? Your wife, I'm assuming?
I would probably shop for my wife.
Yeah, so click for wives or whatever the option is. And then what are the options after that?
Apparel, probably for her, or accessories, beauty and wellness. So I'm going to pick apparel.
Okay.
Because she's always cold in the house. And let's go with is it loungewear?
Can you set a budget? Set a budget for like $500,000.
Well, that's what she's worth, so that would make sense.
Hey, I hope you're listening, Elaine.
Oh, I like this toasty hug fleece lined robe. It looks like the nice cozy one that they would wear and like drink coffee with.
Yeah.
So it's really nice. It's
So-
$198.
And it's that easy. Less than 2 minutes.
Easy. Boom.
And you can have Christmas shopping done for the wife. She'll like it. She'll say you're so thoughtful. And you are, because you thought about it ahead of time. You went to uncommongoods.com/Tony, got yourself a great deal, and you took all the brain work out of it. And that's great for me.
I love it.
So if that sounds interesting to you guys, literally, Uncommon Goods is an awesome website. I use it every year. I highly encourage you to. And Jack apparently using it, has been using it before I ever heard of Uncommon Goods. So don't wait. Make this holiday the year you give something truly unforgettable. To get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/Tony. That's uncommongoods.com/Tony for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary. So that is our sponsor for today, Uncommon Goods. They're awesome, and I like them a lot. I like them a lot. So I want to talk about something like, as often happens, I am doom scrolling. And is there a level of brain rot that's happening to human beings with doom scrolling? Because I feel like I'm getting dumber.
There's actually a study that just came out.
So I am getting dumber.
No, you are getting dumber.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's true.
Actually, it's
Perfect. There really is, yeah.
What's the study?
Well, they did a study, I think, with AI, and they also did a study with like just general technology stuff, and like IQ is going down in young people.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Young people. Am I considered a young person?
If you
No.
use it, I would assume that your IQ might be going down.
Oh, man, that's not good.
So if you can independently think of a problem and create the solution in your head, or do you go to ChatGPT?
Next question. Like, we were trying to troubleshoot tech stuff in here, and Jack's over there pushing buttons, trying to figure it out. I'm like, let me just go to ChatGPT and have it figured out for me. And
It's efficient.
It's a very efficient, and apparently making me dumber. So that's great. That's really great. It's great for everybody that works for me. It's great for everybody. It's just,
So when you doom scroll, are you a toilet doom scroller, or do you
I
doom
mean,
scroll
who
in the
isn't, right?
car?
So I mean, I do scroll while I'm driving down the highway. While
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
See, that's one of the dumb things that dumb people say.
Yeah, you get addicted.
Live on air when they're doom scrolling all the time and they're losing brain cells. But no, as I was doom scrolling somewhere, I don't know where I was located. I came across this post that I found really interesting. Saint Denis of Paris, and I'm assuming if you're a saint of something like Saint Denis of Paris, I'm assuming it's a Catholic thing. I'm not Catholic, so I really don't know, but I do know that Catholics have a lot of saints. There's a lot of saints, but they're like, even like Orthodox Christianity, I think, does the saints. Because I was talking to an Orthodox Christian who brought up Saint Nicholas with the dog head. That was my introduction to that whole thing. I was like, whoa. And then I had Seth Vanderbroek on. Focus, Tony.
Is he Santa?
Seth?
Saint Nicholas. I broke your brain.
Well, I mean, I was just trying to think, like, does Saint Nicholas does Santa ever have like a legend of having a dog head? I don't think so. There's our next.
I think it's Saint Christopher.
Oh, that's what it was.
Oh,
Saint
Saint
Christopher. Yeah,
Christopher,
thank you.
okay.
I got the holiday cheer.
You do.
I got the holiday
You really
cheer.
do. We bought you that Grinch hat, and you're back in business.
Yeah, give me that Grinch hat, Jack. Bring it over here. Toss it over here. That's what we need over here. Like, so, I mean, who wants to give the history of why this is here?
Go ahead, Derek.
Well, there's a long-going rumor around here that Tony hates Christmas. So we decided to, behind his back, buy nice decorations for the office.
I'm looking at 2 Christmas trees right now, and might I say, they do look nice.
Yes. And you know what? Since the cheer of the trees have been in the office, Tony's little heart has gotten a little bigger.
3 times
Three
bigger.
times bigger.
3 times? Really? That much bigger, huh?
I think so.
I think
you actually
everybody's-
smile when you look at the trees. It's,
Yeah.
it's impressive.
Do my eyes twinkle?
Well, that's a question for Lindsay.
Yeah. No, it's not that I hate Christmas. I hate commercial Christmas.
Fair.
I hate the decorations. I hate the fa la 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 la's. I hate all the bull crap that comes with Christmas. I don't like it. I like
Can you give me a bah humbug?
bah humbug. Like
There it is.
like The Grinch is my favorite movie. You know, like, I mean, naturally,
Because you identify with him.
yeah, like we're like Christmas in July. Let's watch The Grinch. You know, but yeah, I mean, I'm all about celebrating Christ. I know, I get it. It wasn't the day he was actually born, but I'm all about, like, you know, acknowledging Jesus Christ's birth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it's never about that.
No.
And that it's just like, you know, And I had a scarred childhood, so we're just gonna leave it at that. I had a Christmas tree fall over me and catch on fire, and ever since then I was out. So
We need Sora to remake that, please.
Yes. We need an AI remake of little Tony having a Christmas tree fall over on him and catch on fire, and he's half his body's burned, and he forever hates Christmas. But anyways,
He turns green.
I was doom scrolling as I was saying, and I came across this post about Saint Denis of Paris, and apparently he went to Paris preaching the gospel, and he was beheaded for it. And well, let me just read this to you, and it gets wow. Let me just tell you the story. I'll just tell you the story instead. He's preaching the gospel, and they're not having it. So apparently Paris was a pretty brutal place at one point. They're like, we don't want none of your Christian stuff around here. Okay, we like our pagan gods. And I don't know if that's a French accent or not, but oui. So, but and so ultimately it was Rome. It was under Roman control. They beheaded him, and they take his head off. He falls down, and I don't know how long the dude was laying there with his head off, but legend has it, his legs kick back up in the air. He gets up, grabs his head, probably holds it to his chest so he can see where he's going. And he's like, you can't stop this, Rome. I'm going to talk about Jesus. And he just continued walking, holding his head, preaching the gospel. And he walked all the way to a site where his body collapsed, and it became, I think the church is named after him, but they built a church there, and it's like a holy place. And I was like, this is crazy. Actually, let me just read you some of this information because I feel like I'm forgetting something. In the 3rd century, Saint Denis arrives in Paris carrying nothing but courage and the gospel. He preaches so boldly, the Roman authorities mark him as a problem, and problems must be removed. Dun 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 dun. We need to work some sound effects into this live one day. Not now. It's not set up for it. He's dragging the highest. He's dragged. I'm sorry.
Do you need your readers?
I do.
Oh.
Because I thought I skipped a slide, and I was like, is this past tense or present tense? Yeah. Could I have my readers, please? Thank you. Because I tried making this larger, and I can't. So we're going to show the age now. Aha. He's dragged to the highest hill in Paris, now called Mount Martyr. There we go. I'm assuming that's what it means. It's Motmartre. All one word.
Yeah.
Sure. I told you doom scrolling is making me dumber. Their soldiers swing their blades, certain they've ended his mission. But something happens that history still whispers about. Denis rises to his feet, calmly picks up his head, severed by the way, and begins to walk. Holding his head in his hands, he walks miles, praying, preaching, praising God the entire way. Crowds watch the stunned silence as the bishop keeps going, guided only by faith. At last, he stops at a quiet place, lays down his head. Should have said put down his head. Puts down his head and collapses. A small chapel is built on the spot. Centuries later, it becomes the great Basilica of Saint Denis. Basilica. Thank you. What is that? A church?
Church.
Okay. The burial place of French kings. What's this? Okay, yeah. I'm getting word from the back room. I'm to stop reading publicly. To be fair, I can't really see through all the smudges on this, but I think I would have messed that up either way. Anyways, I found it really interesting, and it got me thinking about, is this, something that is a common thing? And sure enough, wouldn't you know it, it is a common thing. there are several saints that were known to have their heads chopped off and then only to rise again, pick up their head, and continue the mission of the gospel. So we have Saint Denis, 3rd century, which we just talked about. Then there's Saint, I don't know what his name is. Not Gnosis. Let me just have this thing. Oh, I have to have it. Hang on a second. This is where we all get messed up, friends. I'm trying to do something special here. And speak, please. Say that again for me, computer.
Nicasius.
Nicasius?
Yeah.
Saint Nicasius? Does that sound familiar to anybody?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Nicasius. Did I spend too long on this? Okay. Saint Nicasius. So he was beheaded during a barbarian invasion, reportedly continued reciting Psalm 119, while carrying his head, often depicted calm and composed, head in his hands.
Wow.
So we have Saint Denis and Saint Nicasius.
Yeah, and then there's Saint Justus, who was beheaded as a child martyr. After execution, he stood up and carried his head to the place of burial, became a symbol of innocence and courage. And let's see here. Saint Minius, I had to have it read it for me. Saint Minius, 3rd century. Go ahead, Jack. Just laugh it up over there.
Your poor English teacher from elementary school is like, come on, Tony.
You know, can I tell you something? I'll tell you a story. Let me tell you something. So I might as well. So when I was in middle school, so I was like a bad student, and I didn't want to read the crap that they were telling me to read in reading class or whatever class it was, English class. So everybody's sitting there. It's the easiest job the teacher has. Let me take this stupid thing off. I'm burning up. So like, it's the easiest job to have. Like, it's just like, hey kids, today we're reading Huckleberry Finn. Get to it. And I'm gonna sit over here and doodle, you know. And so like, I'm sitting there. I don't want to read whatever she was telling me to read. So instead of actually reading it, I pretended to read it and literally moved my eyes across the page without actually reading. And so she pulls my mom in because I'm a terrible student. And one of the things she said to my mom, she's like, I know he's reading because I can see his eyes moving across the page. I was like, I got her. Got her. So yeah, I've always been allergic to it. Anyways, and then there were several other saints here. This one was Aphrodisias, Saint Aphrodisias, early missionary. After execution, he carried his head to his tomb. So like it seems like there's a common trait where they're carrying their heads to their final resting place, like a tomb or something like that, which is interesting, I think.
Well, like traditionally, when the body's separated, they say that's like a really bad omen because the spirit can't rest. So like if you dismember a body and bury it separately, it's like a great way to dishonor the person. Okay. And so their spirit can never rest. So it makes sense that they would like want to keep it all together for the burial.
Interesting. So there are several other saints here, and I was like, okay, so what's going on with the saints and, you know, being beheaded and then rising from the dead to just carry out the mission? And I was like, oh, I wonder. Nope, don't have to wonder because there's several biblical, like this is not canon, right? So like these are just legends that supposedly happened, but there's several references to this very thing happening, people rising from the dead in Scripture. And the first one would be that anybody I think would think of that would be the Valley of Dry Bones. Are you familiar with the story, Derek?
Yes, I can read it for you if you'd like.
Please. Oh, yes. Thank you. I'm over here struggling to read these names and what was that one I messed up? It was like sorry the B. Basilica. And what was I saying? Barcelona or something? Barcelona. I don't know, guys. It's
There's a funny one. It's the martyrdom of Saint Cecilia, and she was supposed to be executed for her faith. And so she was struck in the neck 3 times by Roman law, but they did not cut her head off. So she lived 3 more days speaking, praying, and converting people while lying in a pool of her own blood.
Wow.
Talk about a zombie.
So she was laying there in a pool of her own blood, still operating
With her head like half decapitated.
Wow. That's wild.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So talk to me about the Bible chapter.
The Bible. That's right. Let's go. We're going to go into Ezekiel 37, the valley of dry bones. It says, the hand of the Lord was upon me. He brought me out of by the Holy Spirit and set me down in the middle of the valley. And it was full of bones. He led me all around among them, and I saw a great many bones on the floor of the valley, and indeed they were very dry. Then he asked me, Son of man, can these bones come to life? O Lord God, I replied, only you know. And he said to me, prophesy concerning these bones and tell them, dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. This is what the Lord says to these bones. I will cause breath to enter you, and you will come to life. I will attach tendons to you and make flesh grow upon you and cover you with skin. I will put breath within you, so that you will come to life, and then you will know that I am the Lord. So I prophesied as I had been commanded. And as I prophesied, there was suddenly a noise, a rattling, and the bones came together, bone to bone. You know, it reminds me of like those old movies, those 80 movies, where what was the skeleton army? Oh man, what was that?
I don't know what that's from.
No.
Skeleton Army?
Oh, Nightmare Before Christmas.
No, it's like Odysseus or something
that's
like
the only
that.
thing I had.
Oh, it's Jason and the Argonauts.
I have never heard of that.
Me either.
I'm that old, I guess. Okay. But like all the bones, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Awesome.
Tony's not impressed. I'm
Good
going to keep
story.
going. As I looked upon, tendons appeared on them, grew flesh, and skin covered them, and there was no breath in them. Then he said to them, prophesy to the breath, prophesy, son of man, and tell the breath that this is what the Lord God says. Come forth the 4 winds, O breath, and breath into these slain, so that they may live. So I prophesied as he had commanded me, and the breath entered them, and they came to life and stood on their feet, a vast army. And he said to me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Look, they are saying, our bones are dried up, and our hope has perished, and we are cut off. So Ezekiel is taken to a place where he prophesies over the bones, and they come back to life.
So that would be straight up zombies in the Bible.
Yeah, especially the part here where he says, like, he's covering them with skin again and tendons, but there was no breath in them, so they had no spirit.
Do you think that they had... So, like, there's the saints that were resurrected after Christ was crucified, which we can go there now. But, all right, so let me... Because I brought this up to you before. Do you think that the saints that were resurrected when Christ was crucified had like whole bodies, or do you think that they were literally decayed bodies that were walking around? Because I don't think they would have their new bodies. Did they have their whole bodies made whole again? Like their old bodies made whole?
I think when we read that scripture, it's interesting. It actually says like after his resurrection. So like the veil's torn, the tombs are opened, but then in the scripture, it specifically says like after his resurrection. So like after Jesus is then coming back out of hell, that's when the bodies are appearing to everyone. So Jesus is down in hell and he's like, come on guys, you're all coming with me. And they all like, their bodies are coming back out.
That's wild.
That's wild, right?
That's wild. So zombies in the Bible, a real thing. There's also this story, and I think I talked about it once before, but the boy who Rick Renner suggests was resurrected by the power of Christ. So you have Christ and the whole saints being resurrected through his power. Then you have, before his crucifixion, he has a display of power that seemingly raises the dead. In the Garden of Gethsemane, he is getting arrested, and I don't think that has an actual number, but with the Greek words that are used, I think Rick Renner suggests that there was hundreds, like 200-300 people, soldiers that show up to arrest Jesus. So right there, like, why do you need so many people to arrest Jesus unless he has a reputation of being this supernatural man who you just don't know what kind of tricks he has up his robe, you know? And so it's like, that joke didn't land, but I thought it was funny. I was going to, there it is. There it is.
Thank you, producer.
But, so like they come up to him and they're like, are you Jesus of Nazareth? And he says, I am. And when he said, I am, we know that from Exodus because God told Moses, tell them I am sent you. And so when he says, I am, it was him. It's so crazy because he was showing his divinity. He was saying, he was committing blasphemy according to the Pharisees. He knew that would get him arrested. He knew that would be the trigger. And he does it anyways after he was just done pleading, if there's any way we can do this without what's to come, cool, bro. You know, like he was like, this is gonna suck. So like in the face of that danger, he still had the willpower to commit himself to death, right? By saying I am. And when he says I am, I think it's in Mark. I always get them confused. I think it's in Mark that it says that the soldiers fell back. And again, in the Greek, I don't have it with me, but the Greek word suggests that they didn't just like fall back, they fell over. So like he says, I am, and there's like this supernatural pulse of energy that just shoots out and knocks these soldiers, hundreds of soldiers, over. And they get back up, and these guys ask him the same question: are you Jesus of Nazareth? And so like they just got knocked over. And it's like, if that's not the sign that this is the guy we're looking for, you know, let us ask again. And so he says, I already told you who I am. And I think even that was a flex, because it was like, he was like, imagine like a whole little army of guys coming to arrest you. And you're like, I'm going to show you that you can't take me unless I allow this to happen. And so they get back up and they ask again, and he says, I already told you who I am. And that was enough to arrest him, and he just lets them take. So I think it's in, I can't remember. I think it's in Mark where it says that there was this boy who was following wearing linen, and the soldiers tried to grab him and he slipped away. The word linen in the New Testament is used several times, but there's only one situation where the Greek word syndone is used, which syndone is linen, but it's that the word syndone is used to depict burial cloth. And so the only time it's ever used in the New Testament, the word syndone, is talking about Jesus and his burial cloths and this boy. And there's this suggestion that when Jesus had this pulse of energy shoot out from him, enough to knock over hundreds of men, that same energy, that same power is enough to resurrect dead people. And it just so happens at the bottom of Mount of Olives, there is a cemetery that's still there today. And it houses, I think, like 150,000 cemetery or grave sites, and it stems back to the time of Jesus. And it was literally, I think, like it's been a while since I've looked at this, but it's like 100 to 200 yards away from where this happened. And so, like, I think that boy was a walking resurrected zombie trying to follow who just resurrected him. You know, and I think that's pretty wild. So
yeah, I mean, that's exactly what Ezekiel's even talking about, that like the winds, the four winds, the breath and then the breath is the spirit. So like when Jesus is speaking and he says, I am, like it's with his mouth, right? Like with his words. So he's like Jesus is the word, John 1:1, right?
Yeah.
So he's speaking the word, and then that the spirit is going out from his words and resurrecting this child.
Yeah. That's wild stuff. And what's the was it when Jesus sent, was it like 70 apostles, disciples out to do work in his name, right? And they come back and they're like, bro, like we did a lot of crazy stuff. And he's like, oh, you haven't seen it yet. You haven't even begun to see.
He says, even greater works than these, like you're going to do.
See, I'm good at paraphrasing. That's
Storyteller.
I'm a storyteller. Don't ask me to read things. I'm good at reading things and then telling what I read. So
yeah, well, they say that like even the demons obeyed us in your name.
Yeah.
So they were blown away.
It's absolutely wild stuff. And there's this deputization that I believe happened at Calvary, where at the cross, Christ defeated Satan. Adam and Eve handed over authority to Satan in the garden. And then Christ at the cross took back possession. And he deputized us to carry out his will. But we have to actually do it. So I think with the things we talk about on the show, and just there's a reality that there's a darkness in this world. There's dark spiritual nature to this world. There are entities that hate your guts because you're simply a human being. They hate you. And they will try tricking you to believe that you are powerless. And I think that we, as 2025 human beings, have a lot more power than what we are traditionally expected to believe. And that can go from your upbringing, how you were taught, to deception and being deceived by the enemy to believe that you're helpless in the matter. And I think that we need to remember that we can actually take back authority because we have been deputized and we are able to do amazing things in his name. And we should expect to be able to raise the dead. Like that should be something that we should, like, and I'm not saying like Jack dies today and, well, I'm just going to go out there and raise him up from the dead. Hey, Jack, kick him a little bit, few extra kicks and get on up, buddy.
They're not all holy kicks, are they?
But if the Father wills it, like he can unleash that. And it's not us. It's not us. It's him through us, right? And there is a story that we had on the show that I think depicts that perfectly. We had it's been a while. It's been like 2 years. We had Mike Signorelli on the show, and I had first seen him in person at a conference I was at, and then we got connected, and we had him on the show. And I think it was the very first episode. He told a story about being part of raising the dead. And I think we have that video if you want to cue it up, Jack.
And so I think that the way the supernatural realm works is where there's a demand, there's a supply. So for years and years and years, I would travel all over the world and I would see these things happen overseas, and I have them on footage. Then I come to the United States and I'd be like, why does this not happen in the US? And finally I was reading scripture and I'm like, oh, we're so natural minded that we think we've got to go to the doctor. We've got to, or we go to WebMD and self-diagnose and let the anxiety train spiral out of control. But it's like in America, God is like our fourth or fifth or sixth resort, not our first. And now here's another one. And people might not even believe what I'm about to say, Tony. But I was in Ukraine about 8 years ago. And we were in Western Ukraine, and there was like this hospice care facility. And what we didn't know until we got there was that people are hooked up to IVs, but they only have like saline solution because they did not have access to medicine. It was super impoverished. And so basically this was code for you just go here to die. Like you have terminal cancer, whatever, you just go there to die. And so these people are now in this facility. They don't have access to modern medicine. These doctors and nurses, it's all kind of a sham because there's no money to even provide for these procedures. So people are just basically laying in these beds waiting to die. So we come in and we said, can we pray? Like we just believe God can heal people. Can we just pray, go through the whole thing, top to bottom, every floor? Which in America, you can't do that. So a lot of times people will be like, why don't you go in America and just go to hospitals and just pray for people? It's like, cause we can't. Like if you could, I would literally. Like if you would let me in a hospital and pray, like I have clergy access here in New York City, but I have to prove like that's like a whole process legally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I would go to hospitals in America and pray for everybody if they would let me. Anyways, in Ukraine, I was given permission. They said, yes, you can go through this whole thing and pray for people. They're here to die, whatever. And man, Tony, I saw miracles like crazy. We captured them on footage, but here's the most dramatic one. And I think people listen to your podcast because they love this kind of stuff. So we go from room to room to room. Guy with throat cancer, unable to speak. We pray for him. Suddenly he regains his voice and is able to speak again. Obviously, we were not able to stick around to get the verification of that, and they don't even have the means. All I know is the guy couldn't talk, and then he could talk, and we got done praying for him. Then we go down the line, blah, blah, blah. We get to the last, like sort of the last floor, and they tell us, like, before we go into this one room, don't go in this room. And we're like, why? And we're like, the guy's dead. And they're telling us through translators, like, why, like he's dead. Don't go in that room. And so one of my team members is like, no, we want to go pray for him. They're like, you want to pray for a dead guy? And they're like, yeah, we want to pray that he's resurrected. And I'll be honest with you, man, like there's different levels of faith. It's like, that's why Jesus said, if you have faith just as a mustard seed, sometimes I'm like, I don't even have that much, and this was about 8 years ago. And I didn't have that faith. I'll be honest. Like I was praying for people for other stuff that were already alive, but I was like, man, really? Like, can we raise dead people? And so my friend was like, let's do it. So I was like, how about you do it? Like, I don't even want to touch the person when we walk in. Like, how about you do it? And he's like, all right, I'll do it. So we walk in the room. It makes me emotional and super eerie, weird feeling. This guy, he just looked, like a skeleton almost, skin and bones. And he had been dead for about a day. They hadn't got him out yet. It was like that earlier that morning. Now it was towards the evening ish. And all of a sudden my friend just walks over and just starts praying for him. Come alive in Jesus' name. In Jesus' name, I command you to come back to life. Come back to life in Jesus' name. And he's praying. And then all of a sudden, I see this guy's chest move, and everybody here who's been to a funeral, it's so not normal seeing a dead person that it's like everybody universally thinks they breathed. You know that phenomenon? Yeah. Like, so I kind of jump back a little bit. I'm like, oh, I'm thinking, this is just like, I expected to see him move. Then all of a sudden it's like, I see it again. And all of a sudden I scream. The guy praying for the other guy screams. The nurses run in and this guy starts breathing again. Now, he didn't jump out of the bed. It wasn't like, I'm not going to, this isn't Hollywood, but he starts breathing again. And the nurse starts screaming. And it was like an amazing story where she grabs the other nurses on staff. Come, he's breathing. Some of the women didn't even want to go in. And they're like, no. Like they were terrified by this. Now listen, in Western, modern, granola American culture, people don't believe that. I didn't even believe for it when it happened right in front of me. So I understand if somebody listening right now thinks I'm a raving lunatic, but all I will tell you is that guy literally came back to life and the nurses verified it and it happened right in front of me. We have pictures of it. We have video of the first part of it. That video actually went viral. And this was about 8 years ago now. And we posted that video up, which was like, I think one of the first viral videos that we did. So all I'm saying is, I believe it's possible.
I do too. I believe it's possible. and it's, I don't know, it's something that I would love to see. I was raised with a grandfather that talked about miracles, and God has placed a lot of people in my life that have seen wild miracles themselves, and I feel like, you know, all you need is the faith to move a mountain.
That's right.
and you too can raise the dead.
Or even be an undead. I think that's what's so cool, is like the faith to know that you're going to finish completing your mission on this earth, even if you're holding your own head. Because like that's what it was all for, was spreading the gospel.
Yeah, like the mission was not complete. And so it's like, I think, I mean, I don't know. Like, do you guys think that the saints carrying their heads is real, or just legend and lore?
There's enough evidence, I think, of, at a minimum, of people surviving beyond the threshold of normal death and still surviving because they were proving the power of God in their suffering, that I think we can go way beyond our limits with the Spirit of God in us.
Right. So we have, so take what you just said, and then you have these legends, whether they're real or not. If there is displays of supernatural displays of people going well beyond their limits on their road to death for the gospel, to display the power of the gospel, the supernatural aspects of the gospel, then I think that it's like, that's the whole purpose. That's the whole purpose, that you, even in death, you can't stop this. Even in death, this marches on, this carries on. And the one who was the originator of spreading the gospel after death was Christ himself.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Like he gets crucified, preaches the gospel, raises from the dead, comes back, walks around for 40 days, and then he's like, okay, I'm going to go now. You know, like, it's like he was the example of that. So like, all those coming after him, if they believe that they've been, the word I was using earlier was deputized, like, they're like, well, we're going to do the same. Like, we're not going to let death stop us, and we're not worried about death. In fact, like, they're already on a mission to seek a better life after this one. So they're like, we don't even care about this one. And so why not flex on the way out for the gospel's sake, you know?
Ultimate flex.
Ultimate flex. It's
I
like,
love that.
It's just like, off with their head. Cute story, bro. Go ahead and try it. Go ahead and try it.
You're going to hear the whole gospel no matter what.
Yeah, like, until I'm done telling you about Jesus, I ain't stopping, you know? It's just crazy. Like, I remember hearing, I don't know where I heard this from, but that during beheadings, there is a short period of time where the head still has blood circulating through it, and it sees the head fall and land on the ground, and like maybe even like roll and see your own body hanging with no head or something, you know? But it's like the head itself has like this brief period of time where it's still recording what it's seeing after beheading. And these guys took it to another level.
Clearly.
They're like, oh, I see where my body's at. Hang on a second. Let me pick up my head real quick. Let me pick me up real quick.
Oh my God.
Can I just finish out with, we're going to share the Bible verse where I think there is a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
I mean, it sounds probably like Revelation, but yeah.
Well, it is Revelation.
Yeah,
it's
probably.
Revelation 9:6. It says, during those days, people will seek death, but will not find it. They will long to die, but death will elude them. So imagine this is when all of the creatures come out of the pit and they're stinging everyone. Everyone's looking for death and you can't find it. Can you imagine, like, if the spirit of death left by order, the same spirit of death that came over the Egyptians, and God's like, nope, it's not going to be on the earth for a few months. And like, it'll literally be zombie people getting stung and you won't be able to die.
That doesn't sound fun. That doesn't sound fun at all.
Let's be here for that one. That'll be fun.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I think I just became pre-trib. Like, But no, I thought this was interesting to talk about headless saints and zombie apocalypse and dream warfare and all that stuff. I hope everybody enjoyed the live, and we'll be here again next Friday. I'm not sure what we're going to talk about. I still want to talk about the lost cities. There's a lost city that I believe is still possibly present, at least remnants of it that they have not been able to locate, and I think is fascinating. It's mentioned in the Bible a lot. It's where Solomon got all his wealth from. I forget how to pronounce it, but it starts with a C. It has a P and an H in it. I think an I and an R as well, somewhere in there. Cipher, something like that. But it's a place that has been recorded outside of the Bible too, but nobody knows where it's at. And it's like, I find it interesting because it theoretically had a lot of gold.
You're really close. It's Ophir.
Ophir.
Wow, it was really good.
I was an Ophir on the Cephalophore. Yeah, so I would love to maybe talk about that. Maybe I'll talk about that next week. I'm not sure. It all depends if I have time to actually look at it outside of my Instagram reels. But anyways, I hope everybody had a good time today hanging out with us. I have an interview that I'm 8 minutes late for, so I got to go. So, Jack, hit the music and get me out of here.